How's it going, guys? My name is David Fautley, and today I want to talk about Hispanic influence on soccer in the U.S. and raising importance for the future. So, the first topic I want to get into is influence in Hispanic countries, soccer's influence in Hispanic countries. Obviously, it's a lot different than in the U.S. One of the main things is they've been playing soccer longer than we have. Professional soccer in Hispanic countries dates all the way back to the mid to late 19th century, as opposed to America, where professional leagues didn't start showing up until the early 20th century. Another thing is in Hispanic countries, a huge part of the culture is soccer. I mean, when kids grow up, they grow up playing with a soccer ball. Parents are fans, jerseys. I mean, it's everywhere. Soccer is in your face in Hispanic countries, unlike the U.S. There's a huge sense of pride that comes with soccer, especially when you win. As I've got shown here, this is the Spain's national team winning the World Cup in 2010, which obviously was a huge deal and brought a ton of pride to that country. And it really kind of gives bragging rights for other countries, and really just boosts the confidence of that country through a sport. One of the examples I like to use when talking about how intense the significance and the influence soccer can really get is the Brazilian referee who there was an altercation after a pro am match and with him and another player, and some of the fans and family members of that player, after the game, due to their disagreement on what had happened, actually ended up beheading the referee, and this made national news everywhere, all over the world. It was a huge deal. But I use that example just to kind of show how intense it can really get. Some soccer fans, and um, this isn't the first time something like that's had referees get beat up over soccer matches and stuff like that all the time. This is just a really intense example, but it shows, um, how passionate some of these fans can really get. Next thing I want to talk about is the significance of soccer in the U.S., which is very different from many other countries. One of the main reasons being is soccer is often overshadowed in the U.S. by sports like baseball and football and basketball, which are more considered America's pastimes. And a lot of times with a country's pastime, they devote most of their effort, most of their money, everything, their fan base into that sport. And America's got about three or four ahead of the rest of the world's one, which would be soccer. And soccer ends up at the bottom of the list in America. And a huge reason for this is advertising. America is a country consumed by media and advertising and revenue and money. And in a game that lasts an hour and a half with no timeouts, no breaks other than halftime, it's really difficult to run large advertisements and to make money off of advertisements. So this has become a huge issue, and it's part of the reason why the U.S. soccer market is the way it is. One of the examples I like to use that really shows, you know, the difference in the U.S. soccer market and other markets is the World Cup. The U.S. has often been known to underperform in the World Cup in comparison to other countries, and I believe this is due to the fact that most other countries are devoting their best athletes to their pastime sport, to their main sport, that being soccer. As the U.S. has a number of other sports that it devotes a number of different athletes to, and soccer kind of falls somewhere at the bottom. So as a result, without our best athletes, we end up having subpar performances um, in things like that. Next, I want to talk a little bit about some Hispanic players that have had some influence in the U.S., starting with Carlos Vela, who is a really good example as he was a guy who is originally a native of Cancun, Mexico, and he started playing for a club called Real Sociedad overseas in La Liga, which is one of the highest leagues you can play in the world. He also represented the Mexican national team, and he actually made a rare decision and chose to come to play soccer in the U.S. With a transition in his career and has actually made a career out of it and stayed, which is extremely rare just due to the state of the soccer market in the U.S. Within 2 years of playing, he was the second highest jersey sales in the MLS, which is the American Soccer League, and seems to really enjoy his time here and stay. And this is the type of guy the U.S. needs to really market to and get more guys like him over here so that we can get that market up and you know, gain more public interest. Next, I want to talk about Lionel Messi. You can't talk about soccer without talking about this guy, especially when it comes to influence. This guy has single-handedly had more influence on the sport of soccer than I would say anybody. He currently plays for FC Barcelona in Spain, and he has brought 10 La Liga titles to the FC Barcelona, which is just incredible. That brings a huge sense of pride to the country, to Barcelona fans. There are Barcelona fans in every country at this point, just due to the fact that how well the has performed and that breaking all the records. And um, he's often noted as the greatest player to ever walk on a soccer pitch, um, which is really cool that he plays for a Spanish club, and it has brought an incredible amount of attention to Hispanic soccer, especially FC Barcelona. But yeah, this guy he's really incredible, and I think he's done more for soccer than any other person on the planet. All right, next I want to talk about how we can raise significance in the U.S. for soccer, as the market is not so great at the moment. Um, One of the main ways, I mean, the only way America is going to adapt to this is it's got to start with media. There has to be a way to do advertising. There has to be a way to market this to the fans without we have to market to the fans as well as other foreign talents and players, because right now we're one of the least talented leagues in soccer, and people don't want to watch less talented people. They want to watch the best of the best. So we really have to market to these people, and we have to market to the public as well. Another thing is there's going to have to be some sort of advertising, whether it be dual screen like you see sometimes in the World Cup. America's not going to be able to televise as much soccer as other countries without this extreme advertising. So whether that be advertising on jerseys or something, advertising is a huge key. And then the final thing that needs to be done is like marketing the foreign talent. There was a guy, Jonathan Gonzalez, who actually qualified to play for the U.S. national team, but was rejected after there was an interview conducted with the coach that basically said, "Yeah, we don't want him," which seems odd. And stuff like this has happened that prevented the U.S. from being well in international soccer and other types of soccer. But people as of right now just don't want to come over here because the market isn't there, and they don't seem to be wanted. So in order for the significance to be raised, there's going to definitely be some tweaks that need to be made. And that is my works cited, and that is all I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you listening.